I stopped treatment. And I knew 20 years ago that I wasn't going to stay alive for the end stages of a terminal illness. And as soon as I learned about the formation of a group called the Hemlock Society in the very early 1980s, I became a member when the group was still in its infancy. And I used to say to friends, oh, the only non-gay or AIDS organization to which I contribute money is the Hemlock Society. I always knew, little did I know, that I was going to be me. So my action in securing my action is based upon a philosophy that has been mine for a great many years. The action that I am contemplating, I haven't as yet taken the action. And a week ago, 2 weeks ago, there was a letter to the editor in the New York Times that described the experiences of a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who left a note after he put a gun to his head. He left a note how barbaric in our society that I had to do it this way. He had terminal cancer. He was living through the agony, that was the word in the letter. He didn't write the letter. That was the word in the letter. He was living through the agony of terminal cancer, motivated by a project he was doing. When he completed his project, he put the gun to his head. And society is barbaric. And how authoritarian and anti-libertarian that I don't have legally the access to end my life, as they do in the Netherlands, as they now do in Oregon, though the referendum while passed, is being challenged in the courts and is being held up.
Did you see the television show last night?
I wouldn't watch it. The Sunday Times, 5 or 6 weeks ago, had an article on that television show, and I said, there's no way an American commercial TV show is going to show that.
And here it is.
Much to my surprise, there it was. But that's not my situation. That's assisted suicide through lethal injection with the man's wife with him. And after reading the review in the Times yesterday, I thought, how codependent was that relationship, that man and women? They were never apart. The first part is going to be, oh my God, the quintessential codependent relationship.
Do you have a sense of the project being completed?
I don't know that the project I was working on myself, which in effect has that ripple effect on all the people with whom I have contact. And obviously I've done something right for there to be as much love in my life as there is, expressed by as many people as express it. Friends that go back 20, 25, close to 30 years. Boy, I was not the bad guy that I always thought I was. And I was a bad guy. I lied, I cheated, I manipulated, I deferred, I was inauthentic. Maybe the inauthenticity was an aspect of my authenticity. And that's the shadow. That's the paradox. And now I can acknowledge it. And I put myself down for it. I like the idea of the spirituality of imperfections. The title of the book, based on AA. It's a wonderful one. Hold on. And I do endorse it, though I haven't looked at it in a very long time. The spirituality of imperfections. It's really, you can see it's well thumbed. Maybe not as well thumbed as some of my other books. But I accept that principle totally. It works for me.
So you're still able to laugh?
Yeah.
Feeling sad at all these days?
Yeah, I do feel sad that my life is coming to an end. I'd rather not have cancer. And in a way, I'm at peace. It could have been much worse. I could have had a 30 or 40% chance of survival and undergone the rigors of chemo and radiation and surgery, dependency, pain. And who knows what was waiting me down the pike in old age.
You often spoke of how you didn't want to be dependent on our healthcare system, on the hospital.
Oh, I got home today and I was livid at a bill that I got. I mean, the $200 is meaningless to me, but that I should get a bill for work done for St. Vincent's Hospital when I severed my relationship with St. Vincent's Hospital at the end of August, and here they have starting balance, cytology consultation service, they have starting balance as of 11/2/94. Maybe I shouldn't have said the name because I could be wrong. Submitted slides for Dr. Vincent's Hospital, for Dr. St. Vincent's Hospital, $200, and that's the only explanation. I had an opening balance of 0 on November 2nd, and now they're billing me for $200? I was furious, and this is what I wrote. I am not paying this bill. I don't have the slightest idea what it is about. 2, I stopped using St. Vincent's Hospital in August. How can I be sent a St. Vincent's statement for work done in St. Vincent's when I haven't used St. Vincent's for over 3 months? 3, I think it outrageous that I be sent a $200 bill without any details. 4, how can this be a new charge when I have a starting balance of 11/2/94 of 0.00? 5, take me to court. Turn this over to a collection agency. I'll be dead long before that. Then my conciliatory mode. 6, or send me a greatly reduced bill quickly and with an explanation. 7, your telephone is busy. It was not possible for me to get through. Fuck them. They send me a reduced bill, I'll pay it, my executor will pay it. My executor will pay the $200 bill. I do not want any difficulties from my executor. I want to make it as easy as possible for him. They send him a bill, I get a bill, he opens it, it's $200. I will tell him in advance, pay it. I'm not causing him any problems. So am I at peace? No.
Okay.
Angry.
Well, this gets to I guess what will be my final question.
Thank you.
Which is about,
I'm getting exhausted.
which is about the timing of what you're talking about.
I'm not going to discuss the timing.
Okay, my only question for you then is,
I can't go into the future and discuss the timing. It's sooner rather than later.
okay. I just wonder about...
I know those are vague terms.
No, it's okay. You seem to be busy. You seem to still have some anger. And I'm just wondering if this is something that's too much too soon.
Now you as the interviewer has changed his hat and you're now speaking as John, friend,
Right.
as opposed to John, the interviewer.
You got it. You want me to turn that off?
No, I'm going to respond to it.
Okay.
I'm allowed to change my mind. No one will think the less of me if I change my mind. It's possible that I'll let the disease play itself out. Taking increased dosages of painkiller, you mentioned morphine earlier. When the codeine stops working, and the dosage is escalated on the codeine, then I move to a more potent painkiller, which is morphine related, either Percodat or Percodan. I believe they're 2 separate drugs. And then morphine. And I must say that the morphine drip is very appealing. Very, very appealing. And op-ed article in the New York Times. Oh, I don't have to get it. It was an op-ed article in the New York Times several months ago. Shutting it off?
No, I want to videotape this.
An op-ed article in the New York Times had a tremendous impact upon me. Anyway, I'll tell you about the op-ed article rather than search for it. I have copies. It was a cardiologist who spoke the truth, who said, everybody knows that the morphine drip is being used as an act of compassion to put people out of their suffering. However, everyone has to lie about it and say, we're using the morphine to alleviate pain when the dosages are increased. And he says, let's come out of hiding, or let's tell the truth. It's being done. Let's let people acknowledge that it's being done. And then we can have safeguards. I just found that so reassuring, the way this doctor described it. The patient goes into a coma, and they say the hearing is the last of the senses to go. I don't know if that's scientifically accurate. And the process takes them 8 hours. And it gives family and friends. And my friends constitute a family other than the biological family. It gives family and friends an opportunity to come by and say goodbyes. Ted Koppel on Nightline a few nights ago had a segment on the Oregon referendum, where the vote is narrowly approved. Doctor-assisted suicide in that the doctors can write the prescriptions but cannot actually give a lethal injection or administer the pills to their patients, but they can provide the pills to their patients with certain safeguards. 2 requests orally, 1 request in writing, an illness that's terminal subjectively within 6 months. And one of the panelists said, all the Oregon law has done is bring from under the table out into the open what's always been done in Oregon. And an article in that same paper, the New York Times, said that a search of Oregon's judicial records, state records, has shown that never once in the history of Oregon has any charge been brought about against anybody for assisted suicide. So for all practical purposes, it's a non-event. It just legalizes what's always been done. And I'll tell you, once I secured what I needed, and it wasn't my personal position to provide what I needed. Once I was able to go into a network and get what I needed, it brought about a tremendous sense of relief and comfort and ease and peace for me, knowing that I had the means to do it, should I choose to do so. Then I saw a quote from Nietzsche, and it goes this way. Thoughts of suicide have been a great consolation. They have seen me through many a difficult night. Amen. That's my truth too.
Seen any good movies, right?
Okay, thanks, John.
Thank you, Hal.